Hello everyone. Today we discuss about can people with diabetes eat potatoes? Although potatoes are starchy vegetables, a person with diabetes can still enjoy them as part of a healthful diet. When a person eats something, their body converts the carbohydrates and sugars in the food into a simple sugar called glucose. Glucose enters the bloodstream and increases blood sugar levels. A person who does not have diabetes will produce and use insulin effectively. Insulin is a hormone that allows the glucose to enter the cells to use for energy. This means that glucose leaves the bloodstream. However, people with diabetes are unable to produce or use insulin effectively. This means that glucose cannot enter the cells and remains in the blood, which increases blood sugar levels. For this reason, it is essential that people with diabetes monitor their carbohydrate intake. Potatoes are a starchy vegetables. They contain carbohydrates which will increase a person's blood sugar levels. So, in this article, we examine whether people with diabetes can eat potatoes. We also look at which types of potatoes are better for blood sugar, how to prepare and cook potatoes, and general dietary tips for people with diabetes. So, the American Diabetes Association ADA recommended eating starchy vegetables such as potatoes as part of healthful diet. Starch is a complex carbohydrate that takes the body longer to break down than simple sugar. It's a common misconception that people with diabetes should avoid potatoes and other starchy foods because they tend to have a high glycemic index, that is GI. GI, or high glycemic index, is a useful system for ranking foods according to their potential to raise blood sugar levels. Foods with a high GI raises blood sugar faster than those with a low GI. According to American Diabetes Association ADA, low GI foods have a GI to 55 or less. Medium GI foods have a GI of 56 to 69. High GI foods have a GI of 70 or more. Eating foods with a low or medium GI can a person can help a person manage their blood sugar levels. While some varieties of potatoes do not do have a high GI, other factors can balance these out. However, GI is not the only indication of of a food's impact on blood sugar. Glycemic load GL demonstrates how much glucose will enter the bloodstream, while people with diabetes should be mindful of their intake of high GI foods. Managing portion size and preparations method can help reduce their impact on blood sugar. When choosing a high GI food, the ADA, American Diabetes Association, recommended combining a low GI food with it to help balance a meal. They also state that portion size is key to enjoying starchy foods as part of a healthful meal plan. Another important considerations is the cooking method. Deep or shallow frying potatoes in certain oils and fats such as animal fats can increase their saturated and trans fat content. This might increase the risk of heart disease, especially in people with diabetes who already have an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Fats also contain calories. People managing their body weight to reduce the impact of type 2 diabetes may wish to cook potatoes in a way that moderates fat and calories intake. To reduce body weight, people must burn more calories than they consume. The best way to prepare potatoes is to boil or steam them. Both boiled and steamed potatoes are rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber, but very low in fat, sugar, and salt. Now, people with diabetes should be mindful of the portions of potato they consume. It is best to eat potatoes as part of a balanced, healthful meal. Eating potatoes alongside low GI foods that provides fiber, lean protein, and healthful fats can help balance the nutritional benefits of a meal. Eating high fiber foods can help a person moderate blood sugar levels and increase their feeling of fulfillment or fullness after a meal. Low GI foods can include other non starchy vegetables. People who have diabetes should avoid heavy toppings that add calories. Best type of potatoes for diabetes. Sweet potatoes are one of the best types of potato for people with diabetes. As they are low GI and contain more fiber than white potatoes, sweet potatoes are also a good source of calcium and vitamin A. And charisma potatoes, a variety of white potato, are another lower GI option. Russet potatoes are high GI, so people should limit the amount they eat. Preparations and cooking. The preparation and cooking methods a person uses might affect both the GI and the nutritional content of potatoes. For instance, whole potatoes have a lower GI than mashed potatoes or smashed or diced potatoes. Allowing potatoes to cool slightly before eating them can also be beneficial. Cooking a potato makes the starch more digestible, which raises the GI. After cooling, the potato becomes less digestible again, which may lower the GI. The most helpful way to cook potatoes is to boil, steam, or microwave them without adding another or other ingredients. Preparing potatoes in this way will ensure that they are very low in sugar, salt, and fat. Keeping the skins of the potatoes on can provide additional fiber up to 50% of the phenolic compounds in potatoes are present in the skin and attached flesh. Phenolic compounds contain antioxidant properties that may be beneficial to health. Other potatoes dishes. Some potato dishes are more suitable than others for people with diabetes. For example, a potato salad can be a good option as the potatoes are bite sized or cubed rather than crushed or mashed. However, ensure that toppings such as mayonnaise are low fat with no added sugar. People can try this potato salad recipe, which uses low fat mayonnaise and light sour cream to reduce the fat content. Any recipes that involve mashed or crushed potato, such as potato pasta, are less appropriate for people with diabetes. Processing the potatoes in this way increases its GI and the potential impact that it may have on person's blood sugar levels. It is also best to avoid fried potatoes as frying them increases their calorie and fat content. Now, diet tips. Meal planning is a valuable tool for people with diabetes as it can help them optimize meal timing and serving sizes for each meal. A doctor or dietitian or diabetes educator can offer dietary advice and help with meal planning. People with diabetes should eat more non starchy vegetables and fill half of the plate with nutrient rich vegetables such as broccoli, carrot, cauliflower, peppers, spinach, and other leafy greens, tomatoes. Starchy and lean protein options should account for 1/4 of the plate. Trim excess fat from cuts of meat to bring down their saturated fat content. The ADA, American Diabetes Associations, create your plate is a free online tool. So it can help people with diabetes plan a balanced meal with appropriate portion size. Carbohydrate counting can also be a helpful technique for managing diabetes. And counting the total carbohydrate content of foods and meals will indicate how a specific food may affect a person's blood sugar levels. A doctor or dietitian managing a person's diabetes will recommend an individualized daily carb count. So potatoes are a starchy vegetables, as you all know about this, which means that they are rich in carbohydrate and can raise a person's blood sugar levels. Eating too many potatoes can present problems for blood sugar control in people with diabetes. However, potatoes are a good source of vitamins, minerals, and fibers, and people with diabetes can enjoy them as a part of a healthy diet. And eating non-starchy foods alongside moderate portions of whole potatoes can balance out their GI. Cooking potatoes by boiling or steaming them with no added ingredients will also ensure that they are low in fat, salt, and sugar also. So, although the typical topping on top potatoes such as bacons, butter, sour cream, and cheese do not directly affect blood sugar, they can adversely affect heart health. People with diabetes should limit these foods if they are trying to manage blood sugar and calories. These toppings are high in saturated fat, which should account for no more than 5 to 6% of total calories, according to the American Heart Association. Instead, choose toppings such as plain Greek yogurt, salsa, or low fat versions of sour cream to provide flavor to potatoes while also decreasing calories and saturated fat. So, foods and drinks to avoid with diabetes. A diabetes diet plan can include most foods, but people may need smaller portion. They said certain foods from each food group may be better than others. Diabetes interferes with the ability to process blood sugar, also known as blood glucose. Certainly, currently, nearly 11% of the people in the United States have type 1 or type 2 diabetes, and 35% of adults in the country have pre-diabetes, my dear friend, according to the 2020 to 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans. Having a healthy balanced diet can help many people manage diabetes symptoms and reduce the risk of complications also. A person may wonder what foods to avoid with diabetes. Different foods provide each of the main micronutrients that give us energy, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. There are more and less healthy types of each of these foods. So, carbohydrates are an important source of energy